Once upon a time, deep in a quiet forest, a little girl named Quinn was getting ready for bed. She wore her favorite blue pajamas and a soft, knitted blanket that smelled like fresh pine. The forest around her was calm, with tall trees that stood like gentle giants. Their leaves whispered softly in the cool night air. Quinn's house was a small cottage made of wood and stone. Its windows were dim, but the moon shone bright through the open window, casting a silver glow on her room. She could see the stars twinkling like tiny lanterns. The moon was a big, friendly face that seemed to smile at her. She brushed her hair, tucked her hair behind her ears, and listened to the sounds of the forest. The crickets sang a lullaby, and the owls hooted a soft, sleepy tune. The wind rustled the leaves, making a gentle, rustling sound that felt like a warm blanket. Quinn felt safe and cozy. She liked the forest because it was full of life and quiet. She could hear the tiny animals moving through the leaves. The squirrels were busy gathering nuts, and the rabbits hopped in the grass. All of them were peaceful, just like the night. When she was ready, Quinn slipped into her bed. She pulled her blanket up to her chin and closed her eyes. The moon's gentle glow made her room feel like a cozy nest. She could feel the cool night breeze on her skin. It was a soft, soothing breeze that made her feel very relaxed. She thought about the forest and how it was alive even at night. The trees seemed to breathe, and the leaves were like tiny green waves. The moon was a silver lantern, lighting up the forest floor with a soft glow. The forest was her home, and she loved it very much. Quinn dreamed of the forest's gentle creatures. She imagined herself walking through the woods, following the path of fireflies. The fireflies were like tiny stars that danced in the dark. They would light her way, and she would feel safe and happy. She also imagined the forest guardians, who were kind and gentle. They were like invisible friends that watched over the forest. They kept the forest safe and made sure everyone was happy. They were always there, even when no one could see them. As Quinn fell deeper into sleep, the forest outside her window seemed to whisper a lullaby. The wind, the crickets, the owls, and the gentle glow of the moon all joined together to create a peaceful symphony. It was a lullaby that made her feel calm and safe. In her dream, Quinn felt a gentle hand on her shoulder. She opened her eyes and saw a small, glowing creature. It was a forest guardian, with soft, green eyes and a kind smile. It looked at Quinn with love and told her that she was very special. Quinn felt warm and happy inside her heart. She whispered back, "Thank you for keeping the forest safe." The guardian nodded and said, "I am always here, Quinn. I will watch over you and the forest." With that, Quinn's dream became a gentle, peaceful adventure. The forest was calm, the moon was bright, and the forest guardians were there to keep her safe. And so, Quinn's quiet night in the forest began, filled with gentle dreams and a promise of a bright tomorrow. Quinn stepped softly into the forest, the moon hanging low like a silver coin in the sky. The air smelled of pine and fresh rain, and every breath felt cool and clean. He followed a winding path that glowed faintly with fireflies, each one a tiny lantern drifting through the trees. After a while, he heard a gentle rustle in the bushes. A small voice, warm and friendly, said, "Hello, Quinn." Quinn turned his head. A wise old owl perched on a low branch, its feathers a soft gray. The owl's eyes were bright and kind, and its voice sounded like a soft whisper. "Good evening, little traveler," the owl said. "I am Ollie, the keeper of the forest's secrets. Would you like to see the moonlit path that only the quiet hear?" Quinn nodded, his heart fluttering with excitement. Ollie spread his wings, and the wind carried a gentle song. "Close your eyes and feel the night," Ollie advised. Quinn did as he was told. He felt the cool breeze on his cheeks and the gentle hum of insects. When he opened his eyes again, the forest looked different, soft, glowing, and full of wonder. The owl guided Quinn to a clearing where a gentle deer stood. The deer's fur was silver, and its eyes were gentle like the morning dew. The deer bowed its head in greeting. "I am Daisy," the deer whispered, "the guardian of the forest's calm. I watch over the trees and keep the night peaceful." Quinn smiled. "I would love to learn how you keep the forest so peaceful," he said. Daisy lowered her head, and a soft, soothing voice filled the clearing. "Listen to the leaves," she said. "They rustle in rhythm, like a lullaby. Listen to the brook nearby. Its water sings a song that soothes even the busiest heart." Quinn closed his eyes again, and he could hear the gentle babble of the brook. He felt a warm, sleepy feeling wash over him, as if the forest itself was giving him a gentle hug. When he opened his eyes, the deer's eyes were kind and bright. "Thank you, Daisy," Quinn whispered. "I feel calm and happy." Just then, a tiny rustle near a low branch caught Quinn's attention. A small, sleepy squirrel emerged, its fur a soft brown and its tail twitching like a feather. The squirrel yawned, its eyes half closed, and said, "Hi, Quinn. I'm Sammy. I'm the guardian of the forest's dreams. I keep the night quiet so all the animals can rest." Quinn laughed softly. "I would love to hear your dream song," he asked. Sammy stretched his paws and hopped onto a nearby rock. He tilted his head, and the sound that came out was like a gentle hum, a lullaby that made the night feel even more peaceful. The sound was like a soft wind blowing through a meadow of flowers. The forest seemed to sigh with gratitude. The fireflies flared brighter, and the moon's silver light painted everything in a gentle glow. Quinn felt his own heart beat slow, like a drum in a quiet room. He knew that the forest guardians were there to help him, to keep him safe, and to show him the beauty of the night. When the lullaby faded, the owl, deer, and squirrel gathered around Quinn. Ollie spread his wings again. "You have done well," Ollie said. "Remember, the forest is always here. If you ever need a friend or a quiet place to rest, just listen to the leaves and the brook. They will guide you back." Daisy nodded. "And if you ever feel tired, just close your eyes and imagine the soft fur of a deer," she whispered. Sammy smiled. "And if you need a gentle dream, I will be here, humming a lullaby," he promised. Quinn thanked his new friends. He felt warm, safe, and calm. He tucked his head under the soft moss and listened to the forest's gentle breathing. The night grew deeper, but the forest's guardians were there, watching over him like a family of stars. With a gentle sigh, Quinn fell into a peaceful sleep, his dreams filled with the lullabies of the owl, the calm of the deer, and the sleepy song of the squirrel. The forest held him close, and the night whispered, "Rest well, dear Quinn." Quinn walked along the mossy path, the forest quiet around him. The trees stood tall, their leaves whispering in a gentle hush. A cool breeze brushed against his cheeks, carrying the soft sounds of the night. He could hear the distant drip of water from a hidden stream, the rustle of leaves, and the faint chirp of crickets that made a lullaby for the forest. The wind was kind, not loud or sharp. It seemed to speak in a soft voice, like a friend telling a secret. It carried the scent of pine and damp earth, a smell that made Quinn feel safe and warm. He closed his eyes for a moment, letting the breeze touch his skin. The wind wrapped around him, a comforting blanket that made his heart beat slow and steady. As he walked, the wind lifted the petals of the wildflowers beside the path. They swayed like tiny dancers, moving in time with the soft wind. Each flower opened a little, releasing a sweet scent that mingled with the cool air. Quinn could almost see the petals shining like tiny stars in the night. The wind carried the sound of the flowers, a soft rustle that sounded like a gentle sigh. Further ahead, a small brook bubbled and sang. The wind caught the water's surface and made it dance. The sound of the water was like a lullaby, slow and steady. Quinn leaned against a stone and listened. The wind carried the brook's song, and the song carried the wind. Together, they made a quiet rhythm that made Quinn feel calm. In the distance, the forest guardian soft, glowing spirits watched over the woods. They moved like shadows, their light flickering like fireflies. The wind brushed their hair, and they laughed softly, a sound like wind through leaves. Quinn felt their presence, a gentle reassurance that he was not alone. The guardian's laughter mingled with the wind, and the sound made him smile. The wind carried a song from the old oak tree. The tree's branches swayed, and its leaves whispered. The wind made the leaves sing a soft, slow song that seemed to tell a story of peace. Quinn listened, and the song made his thoughts drift. He felt his worries melt away, replaced by a calm that settled in his chest like a warm blanket. The night grew deeper, and the stars above twinkled like tiny lanterns. The wind carried a soft, distant howl of a wolf, but it was not scary. It was a gentle reminder of the wild, a sound that fit into the forest's quiet. Quinn felt the wolf's howl blend with the wind, making the forest feel alive but still calm. When the wind stopped for a moment, Quinn opened his eyes. The forest was still, but the air was filled with the soft, comforting sounds of the night. He took a deep breath, feeling the cool air fill his lungs. He felt his heart beat slow, in rhythm with the wind's gentle lullaby. Quinn continued walking, following the path that led deeper into the forest. The wind carried soft sounds that lulled him to calm. He felt at peace, surrounded by the gentle whispers of the forest, the soft songs of the brook, the lullabies of the wind, and the watchful guardians. The forest was a place of quiet magic, and Quinn knew he would always find comfort in its soft, soothing sounds. Quinn stepped lightly into the glade, the soft grass cushioning each footfall. The moon hung high, a pale silver cup that poured gentle light across the trees. Between the trunks, tiny fireflies flitted like living stars, their tiny glow painting the air in shimmering ribbons. The air smelled of pine and damp earth, a scent that made Quinn feel safe and calm. Every step was slow, almost as if the glade itself was breathing with Quinn. The path was a ribbon of moss and fallen leaves, and each footfall made a faint, comforting crunch. Quinn paused sometimes, letting the quiet settle around the ears. In the distance, a brook sang a slow lullaby, its water glinting like liquid silver as it slid over smooth stones. The fireflies danced in patterns that seemed almost like a gentle conversation. Their lights flickered in a slow, steady rhythm, like tiny heartbeats. Quinn watched them, feeling the rhythm of the forest echo inside. The wind whispered through the leaves, a soft sigh that sounded like a lullaby. Each leaf moved just enough to create a soft rustle, a quiet song that made the heart feel light. The trees stood tall, their branches reaching like arms that welcomed Quinn. The trunks were smooth and warm, as if the forest had wrapped a blanket around them. The light from the moon and the fireflies painted the bark in shades of gold and silver. Quinn could see the tiny veins in the bark, like delicate lace, and felt a gentle peace. In the middle of the glade, a small clearing opened up. A circle of stones stood there, each one smooth and cool to the touch. The stones were arranged like a gentle invitation to sit, to rest, to listen. Quinn knelt on the moss and placed a hand on the nearest stone. The stone was cool, but the warmth of the night wrapped around Quinn like a soft shawl. The air felt quiet, as if the forest was holding its breath, waiting for something beautiful to happen. As Quinn rested, the fireflies gathered closer, their lights becoming a soft halo around the stones. The brook's song grew louder, a gentle wave of sound that seemed to wrap around the heart. The wind sang a lullaby, and the trees seemed to hum a low, soothing tune. Every sound was gentle, slow, and calm. Quinn listened to the quiet sounds. The soft wind, the faint splash of the brook, the fireflies' glow, and the gentle rustle of leaves. All of these sounds blended together into a quiet song that made the heart feel like it was floating on a cloud. The forest seemed to breathe with Quinn, a slow, steady rhythm that made the mind feel light and clear. When the night felt still, Quinn stood up, feeling a gentle calm inside. The forest seemed to welcome the next step, a step that would lead to the next part of the adventure. Quinn walked slowly, keeping the heart calm, and the glade continued to glow with gentle lights and quiet sounds. The forest was a place of peace, and Quinn felt grateful to be a part of it. Quinn had followed the forest guardians through the quiet night, their footsteps soft as a whisper on the mossy ground. The moon was a shy silver crescent, and the stars were shy little lanterns, peeking through the canopy. Quinn's heart thumped softly, a steady drum in the quiet night. The guardians led Quinn to a clearing where the trees stood like silent sentries. The air smelled of pine and fresh earth. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves, sounding like a lullaby. Quinn sat on a fallen log, legs crossed, and looked up. The sky was a deep blue, almost black, and the stars were beginning to glow. "Close your eyes," said the eldest guardian, a wise old owl with feathers that shimmered like moonlight. "Let the stars take you." Quinn did as the owl said. The eyes closed, and the world felt smaller, like a tiny ball of warmth. The forest's hum was the only sound, a slow, steady rhythm. The wind sang a soft song, and the stars seemed to dance. The guardians gathered around Quinn, their hands gentle. One of the guardians, a silver deer, lifted a paw. From the sky, a single star fell like a tiny silver feather. It landed softly on Quinn's shoulder. The star was warm, like a small sun, and it hummed with a quiet song that made the heart feel light. The next guardian, a tiny fox with fur that glowed faintly, knelt beside Quinn. The fox took a breath, and the breath turned into a small, sparkling thread. The fox wove the thread into a gentle net. The thread twinkled like a thread of light, and it spread across the sky, creating a soft blanket of stars above Quinn. The forest guardians sang a soft, slow song. Their voices were like wind through leaves, gentle and calm. The song was a lullaby that made the stars glow brighter. The stars in the blanket twinkled in rhythm with the song, each one a tiny heartbeat. As the song rose, the blanket of stars grew thicker, like a blanket of soft cotton. The stars twinkled and shimmered, creating a gentle glow that filled the clearing. The blanket was not only bright, but also warm, a gentle warmth that made Quinn feel safe. The forest guardians pressed their paws to the blanket, and the stars shivered with a soft glow as if they were breathing. The owl looked at Quinn with kind eyes. "Rest now," it said. "The stars will keep you safe, and the forest will guard you." Quinn felt the stars' gentle glow on the skin, like a cool breeze on a warm day. The blanket of stars seemed to cradle Quinn, holding them close. The forest's hum grew softer, and the wind whispered through the leaves like a gentle hug. Quinn's breathing slowed, each breath a soft sigh. The stars in the blanket pulsed softly like a gentle heartbeat. The night felt calm, like a quiet lake. The forest guardians stayed close, their presence a quiet promise. The blanket of stars shivered with a soft glow, a gentle lullaby that carried Quinn to a deep, peaceful rest. The forest, the stars, and the guardians all hummed in harmony, a quiet song that carried Quinn into a night of sweet dreams. When the morning sun began to rise, the stars would fade, but the memory of the blanket of stars would stay in Quinn's heart, a gentle glow that would remind them of the forest guardian's love and protection. The forest would always be there, and the stars would always shine, a promise of comfort for the next midnight adventure. Quinn stepped softly onto the mossy path that curved around the edge of the forest. The trees whispered in the cool night air, their leaves rustling like soft lullabies. He followed the winding trail until he reached a small clearing where the moonlight fell like silver water. In the center of the clearing was a pond, its surface smooth and glassy, reflecting the stars above. The pond seemed to breathe with the quiet of the night. Its water was still, like a calm lake that had never been disturbed. Quinn knelt by the edge, feeling the coolness of the grass beneath his feet. He held his breath and listened. The only sounds were the gentle sigh of the wind and the distant song of a nightingale. It felt as if the world had paused, waiting for him to notice the quiet beauty. He placed his hand on the water's surface, feeling the coolness seep into his fingers. The pond was a mirror, showing the moon and the stars, and also showing Quinn's own small, bright face. He smiled, a soft smile that matched the gentle glow of the moon. The water shivered with a ripple that came from a single feather that had drifted down from a passing owl. Quinn closed his eyes and imagined the pond as a portal. He imagined it could take him on a gentle, dreamy journey. In his mind, the water turned into a silver ribbon that wound around his ankles and lifted him up, up, until he floated above the forest. He floated over the trees, the leaves, the small creatures that slept in their nests, and the quiet earth below. All around him, the forest seemed to breathe, and the stars above seemed to shine just a little brighter. When he opened his eyes again, he was back on the mossy path, the pond still and calm. He felt a sense of peace that filled his heart. The pond had shown him how stillness could be beautiful, how a quiet moment could bring comfort. He thought of his friends, the forest guardians, who always kept the forest safe. They were always there, like the steady water, always ready to listen and protect. He took a deep breath, feeling the cool air fill his lungs. The wind carried a faint scent of pine and fresh earth. The night was quiet, and the moon was high, shining over the pond. Quinn felt a gentle warmth in his chest, like a hug from the forest. He felt safe, and he felt calm. Slowly, he stood up, feeling the moss under his feet. He looked one more time at the pond. The moonlight made the water sparkle like a field of tiny diamonds. He thought about the gentle rhythm of the pond's surface, the way it moved with the wind, the way it reflected the stars. He felt as if he could hear the pond's soft song, a lullaby that made him feel safe and at peace. When he finally turned to leave, he walked back along the path, his steps light and steady. The forest was still, the moon still bright, and the pond still calm. Quinn's heart felt full of gentle joy. He knew that whenever he needed a moment of peace, he could return to the pond, sit by its edge, and watch the moonlight dance on the water. The pond would always be there, a quiet friend in the forest, ready to share its calm and peacefulness. Quinn's eyes grew heavy, like the soft petals of a sleepy flower. The forest around them hummed with a gentle lullaby, the rustle of leaves, the distant croak of a frog, and the faint whisper of the wind. The guardians, with their warm smiles and soft fur, settled beside Quinn, forming a cozy circle of comfort. "Close your eyes, Quinn," the gentle oak whispered, its voice as steady as a heartbeat. "Let the night sing you to sleep." Quinn nodded, feeling the cool night air brush against their cheeks. The moon, a silver lantern, floated high above, casting a gentle glow that painted everything in silvery light. The guardian's paws and wings brushed lightly against Quinn's shoulders, a comforting rhythm that felt like a gentle drumbeat. The friendly forest guardians, the moonlit deer, the whispering wind, the starry owl, and the softly barking dog each took a turn to share a small story. The deer spoke of the twinkling stars, the wind sang of the night's cool breeze, the owl told of the quiet shadows, and the dog wagged its tail, a soft, comforting thump that echoed like a heartbeat. All their tales were gentle and calm, just the right kind of soothing to lull Quinn into a peaceful sleep. As Quinn's breathing slowed, the forest's sounds grew softer, like a lullaby being sung in a quiet room. The moonlight seemed to wrap around Quinn like a warm blanket, making the world feel safe and snug. The guardian's eyes twinkled with gentle affection, their hearts beating in harmony with Quinn's own. The moonlit deer's breath was like a cool breeze, bringing the scent of pine and fresh earth. The whispering wind brought a soft rustle, like a lullaby in a hushed forest. The starry owl's eyes were soft, reflecting the gentle glow of the moon. The softly barking dog's tail thumped softly, a gentle rhythm that matched the quiet heartbeats of all. "Good night, Quinn," the moonlit deer said, its voice a whisper of wind. "May your dreams be filled with wonder." "Good night, dear friend," the whispering wind added, its breath a cool caress. "May the night's hush keep you safe." "Good night," the starry owl murmured, its voice like a gentle echo. "May the stars watch over you." "Good night," the softly barking dog whispered, its voice a gentle bark that sounded like a lullaby. "May your dreams be as sweet as a honeyed honeybee's song." Quinn smiled, feeling the gentle warmth of the guardian's love. Their eyelids grew heavy, and the forest's rhythm became a lullaby, guiding them into a deep, restful sleep. The gentle hum of the night, the soft rustle of leaves, and the comforting presence of the guardians all worked together like a lullaby, soothing Quinn into a peaceful dreamland. In the quiet, the guardians stayed close, their hearts beating in rhythm with Quinn's. Their gentle presence was a promise that the forest was safe and that their friendship would last forever. The forest's night sky shone bright with stars, and the moon's silver glow painted everything with a soft, calm light. The wind whispered a soft lullaby, and the gentle rustle of leaves added a soft, soothing rhythm. All around, the forest was quiet, and the guardian's gentle breathing was the only sound. Quinn's breath slowed, and the forest's calmness wrapped around them like a soft blanket. The guardian's presence made Quinn feel safe, and the gentle night filled their heart with peace. As the forest settled into a quiet hush, Quinn's dreams took them on a gentle adventure. The guardians watched over them, their love like a gentle blanket that kept them safe. The night's quiet lullaby sang them into deep sleep, and the forest's soft glow wrapped around them like a warm, comforting blanket. And so, in the heart of the forest, Quinn and the friendly forest guardians drifted into a peaceful sleep, their hearts beating in harmony with the gentle night. The forest's calm lullaby, the moon's silver glow, and the soft breath of the wind carried them into a dreamland where everything was safe and kind. The guardians, ever watchful, promised to keep Quinn's dreams sweet and safe until the next morning, when the forest would open its arms once more.